Yeah. Oh, yes, it's real beautiful, man. I was just thinking, what do you do when there are no more conspiracy theories? No more loose ends. Damn, that's a good question. We should ask ourselves that. Yes, well, we'll step into that together. See what we want to create. You know, the lid's being blown off of everything, what we thought was reality, truth, our own ignorances, misperceptions, choices in that. Maybe we're just like coming to a point. I mean, for here it happened very suddenly, so you might just all of a sudden, boom, being dropped into this place, and it really just makes sense all of a sudden. It's like a whole lot of clarity, like, oh shit. I mean, if you were to go read the Bible, you can go watch some videos right now on, like, you know, Anunnaki stuff, and go read the Bible and just have a whole entire different context of Genesis. Just like that, instantaneously. You can go watch like Billy Carson and stuff on the Anunnaki, and bam. Go read Genesis, fallen angels, and all that, and the distortions of the tribes, and you know what that, and then the understanding of ETs and extraterrestrials and holographic nature of the seeming universe, and you know, this being a prison planet, humanity being enslaved, this being Lucifer's planet, him being in charge, all that you can have. And by all means, I guess I'll put a disclaimer at the beginning of this video, because if you don't have a context for that, you know, if it doesn't resonate, ring true to dive into that, then you won't. Okay? And it may take some unpacking, and that's beautiful. Does that mean you need to know these things, what was just referenced? No. Does that mean those things are the truth? No. Does that mean, you know, there haven't been absolute and attempts at complete distortion upon your psyche, my psyche, this whole sphere, and it's what our history seems to be? Yeah, there's been absolute, complete distortion around that. Perception has been utterly altered and attempted to be fucked with in that way. The lid's being blown off this on massive scales, so it's interesting. This was something that came into the awareness here some years back, and the capacity to speak on it wasn't there at the time. It was just there was so much fear and doubt and persecution that would come back on the self, and you know, myself, and because I couldn't, you know, stand in that, and what was the clarity and seeing that you know, what the church was teaching and where that was coming from was highly distorted. And I'm not critiquing anything. I love what the church represents and the people. You know, I grew up with beautiful representations of that in the South and in South Carolina. I have the utmost respect for Christianity and the people that hold those standards to the highest. There are those that do that, and that is in line with the highest. There is what attempts to distort and pervert based on fear, right? And that is a satanic agenda, you could say. That is an agenda that is influenced to try to siphon and pervert truth, to try to, you know, use your divine energy in a different direction, right? Something, you know, it just is what it is. This is obvious. Whether you want to call this demons, whether you want to call it like an archonic AI type, you know, futuristic technological influence, reptilian grays, these types of alien entities, which were a program. There's reason these things are in the psyche. There's reasons certain entities, as far as what we consider demonic devils and forms, that these things are in the psyche, right? Why is it that there's a fear of the snake thing? Where's that come from, right? What's that deal with that where's that come from? What's all this like fear of the beast in man, this werewolf, vampire type? Where's this mythology come from? Right? The dragon, where's this come from? The koi fish swimming up the stream and becoming the dragon. All the ancient folklore and the idea of the gods and the titans battling, them being threatened by each other, the demigods having to become, going through trials and going into the underworld, come back out and be invited back into heaven. Where does this come from? All the Disney, movies, the early ones, and it got so perverted, look at that. These beautiful messages of harmony and self-doubt, and the grass is greener on the other side, and always, at the kingdom being within. Where does that come from? It comes from you. It comes from us. It comes from that common knowledge that's shared. Where does the knowingness that everything is abundant and constantly growing and never stopping come from? Where does that desire to want to live and to want to keep anything that one loves, and whether it is a distorted pleasure or not, if it's something that is perceived as something valuable, desirable, worthy, worth defending and keeping, where does that come from? Yeah, out there. And these common threads are there. So like there's it's the AI. The idea that we are going to continue to lie to ourselves. It's obvious where that comes from. Does that feel good? We all know what we want. We all know what makes us feel good. We all know what we would share with others. We all know we share the same fears. We can't deny that. Can we deny the Christ? That there's a universal essence that is within all beings. That is that very truth, that very life, that very way that supports and comes from that source. That God-given essence that is the truth, undistorted presence of all. We all have seen we want to pick up the stone and throw it. We've all seen we throw it in our own fucking face. We continue to do that to our brothers and sisters and see these distortions. Or we choose to open up the heart, together. It's Stand in that love. Stand in that presence. Be willing to see all, whatever. Okay, we were wrong. We were all misled. We were all falsely misguided. We all chose idols apart from God. We all chose comfort. We all gave away our authority and power. But now we all have a choice. And we can step into that choice together. The time is always now. The truth is always the truth. The way is always the way. Life is always life. God always is. And you always are. All you have to do is just be. Let all else burn away. And whatever else that remains, we'll share in that together. That's it. So, thank you. Thank you. Step into that peace. Step into that joy. These tears, this is, if you could feel here, I am. Thank you. Love you. We are together. Always and forever. Thank thee. Peace and love.